Hello. Welcome back. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to today's live discussion of our last book club book of 2025. I know it is now halfway through January, but it just didn't work any better. So we are here now to discuss Once There Were Wolves by Charlotte McConaghy. We read one book by this author before for the book club, and that one was very well received by the book club members, meaning me and Jess. And so I was really excited to read this one, and I am now very excited to discuss with you. Um, Hello, Jess. Welcome. Did you manage to finish it? Did you finish the book? I mean, yesterday you were 33 pages in. That's like here. So did you read all of this since then? That would be impressive, very impressive. Hello, Natalie. Welcome. Also, please let me know if you can hear me and see me well. Probably can both. I did. I read fast. Nice. That is very impressive. Hope you didn't rush it too much, though. Hello, Larissa. Welcome. Great job, Jess. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I can hear and see you. Thank you. So we are going to start a little bit with non-spoilery discussion, if we can handle that. It feels like there is a lot to discuss on the spoilery side. So I'll see how we do with that. Honestly, I'm not sure how much I can discuss this book without any spoilers, but we'll give it a shot. Also want to say maybe I will be taking like a little breaks, or like not talking very, how you say, fluently this time. Is that how you say it? Wait, give me a second. I need to adjust a little bit, because as I was saying on my sprints yesterday, I got sick and caught a little cold or something. And so my throat burns, and now it moved to my nose. So now I have a headache, and my nose and all of these hurts. And so I need to take a little break, take it a little bit easy. I'm feeling good enough to do this today with you, but that's just so you know. If I need to wipe my nose a little bit, hopefully that won't bother you too much. I have my tea here, so we'll handle it somehow. But yes, if there is anyone here, either watching it live or if you'll be rewatching it later, who doesn't know what this book is about, it is about our main character, Inti, who, I don't know how to pronounce it, but I hope it's Inti, who is working with wolves, wild wolves, and is working on a project to rewild Scotland. And so they bring different packs of wolves to Scotland to release them into the wild, to try to, manage the number of deer. And in doing so, we'll be able to help the forest grow again, and so on and so forth. Now, of course, they are in Scotland. They are in an area where there are farmers. They have lots of sheep, and they are very worried about these wolves eating their sheep, which valid worry. But we follow this story. We know from the beginning there is a conflict between the wolf keepers, they're not keeping the wolves, but like the wolf people, and the locals. And then there is some history that's interweaving into the story and affecting our main character. We have flashbacks to her childhood, how she grew up in different parts of the world, with her mom in Australia versus with her dad in a forest in British Columbia, in Canada. And yeah, she feels at home in the forest, and that's where we spend most of the time in the book. And it's also a mystery. There is some mysterious things happening that we don't really know reason for, or the culprit. So it is both book about nature and environment and animals, as well as uh, human behavior and trauma, kind of. And again, Charlotte McConaghy, for me, her writing works absolutely like astoundingly, because somehow just the writing brings me there. I feel it. I can see the atmosphere. It's so vivid, and I can feel, I can grasp how conflicted the characters are, and I just absolutely love it. So yeah, that's a short about the book. Sorry, I need to like wipe my nose a bit because it's running. My apologies. You probably didn't come for this, did you? And I didn't rush it. It was very compelling. Good. I'm glad. Thank you, Thames and Millie and Natalie, for the trigger warnings on the Discord. Yeah, the same. But I don't think I saw the one that were like spoiled. I did not open those. What were the? How did you do that? Ah, for animal topics, yes. Um, yeah, right. Yeah, thank you very much, Natalie, for sharing the triggers. Natalie was the first one from us to read it, so that was very helpful. Um, I mean, yeah, it's not spoilers really, but somewhat some part of it might be. But yeah, what are your initial thoughts without spoilers? So far, we are going without spoilers. Um, should we add like maybe ticker saying that spoiler free for now? Uh, spoiler free. Just a second. So, and we'll turn into spoilers a little later. Usually I'm okay if I know them ahead of time. It's not great to be surprised by stuff like that, for me at least. Yeah, I totally get that. I understood. Yeah, I didn't click the spoilers open from Natalie, or like the trigger warnings that were under the spoiler tag. So I did not know exactly. I knew about the animal death in the book, and going in, it was good to know. I don't think it was that like deep or that brutal for me anyway, but maybe at this point in time, not maybe a year ago, I would have thought about it differently. The other one I had no idea about, and that definitely hit me. I did see one part of it coming, not the other brutal one. I did not see that coming, and that made me kind of sick. So definitely would have helped to know going in, probably like what to expect. But at the same time, I also like not to know where it's going, because if I know, like because then I would expect it every scene, and like, is this where it happens? Is this where it happens? So in that way, I prefer not to know, because then I don't know it's coming and I don't expect anything. So that's good. But yeah, I understand it can be very helpful if you know about them beforehand. Spoiler free. I think I just really like this author's writing. One of those I think I'd be on board for anything she writes, even when it's stuff I wouldn't normally read. Yes, I definitely agree. I would read anything she writes. Um, she has so far 3 books. I grabbed the other 2 as well because we are talking about we would like to buddy read the following one, which is The Wild Dark Shore, which was published last year, I believe. 2025, I'm pretty sure, yes. But we read Migrations by her, and I see now how many tabs I have here. I did not annotate this one. I regret it, but I just did not feel like it. Maybe I'll go one day back and annotate it. But yeah, I have things underlined, thoughts written in here. So I would definitely love to reread this one Monday. Not soon, but yeah, I did not annotate this one, but I love her writing as well. It just works for me. It's fantastic. I'm glad it helped. I found it, sorry, there we go. I found it very readable. I think for me it was the mix of language I love and good pacing. Yeah, 100%. I also found it very readable. In past few years, I can't say it's very easy for me to just sit down and read a book for like an hour without a stop, without even thinking about grabbing my phone or anything else. But this one, it worked. I would open it and I would just keep reading, and then I would eat dinner, and once the dinner was done, immediately I would pick up the book again and continue reading. So it was definitely very easy to read. It really gripped me. I wanted to go back to it all the time because I just feel so raw, and yeah, I think I feel so raw reading that book. Like I feel seen and called out at the same time, in a good and a bad way at the same time, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of how it feels. Like it's both amazing and heartbreaking. I don't know, but yeah, the writing was great, and I love the name Inti, by the way. Nice. Yeah, the entire book, the name of her sister I could not get used to. The entire book I read Angie instead of Aggie or Aggie or whatever she's supposed to be. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it. I read it physically, not listen to it. So I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it. I pronounced it Aggie, and then the entire time I first read Angie and then had to correct myself that it's Aggie. So that name I did not like, but Inti is really nice. Somehow it really fits her, the character. I agree. I still need to read Migrations. It's on the TBR now. Nice. I'm so happy. Yeah, Migrations were amazing, or was amazing. A little bit clearer 5-star, I would say. The ending, both better and worse than this one. There's some things that were so much better, some things that were a little bit not as good in the ending. So it's kind of like mixed, but overall it's much more focused, from what I remember, it's much more focused on the nature and a little bit less on the relationships of the people. So yeah, but otherwise I feel like not that it's similar, but it made me feel quite similarly. But it's a very different story, of course. I was thinking that when it wasn't picked for the book club, we should all buddy read it. I must have missed the chat, but everyone else wanting that too. Yes, it wasn't picked for the book club. It was up for the voting, if I remember correctly, but it did not get enough votes. And it was Natalie and Josephine who said that they would like to read this. So I'm going to announce a buddy read of this on Discord, and hopefully we'll be able to read it sometime soon. I was thinking like March, but not necessarily, because in March also we are supposed to be reading the other book, the Imago. Is that the second one to Dawn? No, Adulthood Rights. Imago is third. So that one we are supposed to read in March. So it would be too much, but we'll see. We'll vote on when we like to read this. Probably some non-book club month, and yeah, definitely would love to read that with all of you as well and discuss it later. Sorry, my voice is failing me, understandably so. There is a point toward the end where putting it down doesn't really feel like an option. Maybe the last like 50 or 60 pages, yes. I definitely read the last 70 pages all in one go. I did take a break, I think, for dinner, but otherwise I just went. And yeah, it's not your typical like full of action kind of ending, but it was, I loved it. I loved it. I cried at some of the like reveals and stuff, and it's just, I don't know, this book got me. Maybe it's just my mindset again, but are we thinking that both of these books were just mindset 5 stars? I don't think so. I think out of 2 we have 2 5 stars, so we've got a good thing going here. It feels like, rather than just, oh, I was just in a correct mindset for this book. No, good book. I just went back to a few quotes I annotated and immediately got back into the story, the atmosphere, and in the characters' heads. That is very impressive for only some sentences. Yes, definitely. And that is not that many authors that can do that for me, to really throw me back into the atmosphere so easily. And she does it for sure. Hanya Yanagihara does it very easily as well. That's why I adore her writing too, because it's also so very different and so, I would say, like venomous. Like it grips me immediately. I mean, no matter what mood I'm in, no matter what's happening, I know exactly what we are doing, where we are, and what is the atmosphere, what is the mood, what I'm supposed to feel out of few sentences or one sentence. So like those two, I think, for me are like masterful in this way, exactly as you described. So I agree. Amazing. I love this writing. I think Aggie, like Agatha. Okay. Aggie. Like an egg. Aggie. Aggie. Agatha. Aggie. Sorry. I am not very good at pronouncing in general and like fixing that. So apologies if I pronounce it wrong. I was thinking it was like Binti, which isn't that Steve Irwin's daughter's name? Maybe. I don't know. I have no idea. It's also a book title, right? Binti, yes. Yeah, weird as hell sci-fi. Love it. I'll join that one. Great. Okay, so now it's 5 of us. Amazing. I saw a few reviews that the characters were all flat, and I don't know. I totally disagree. In Once There Were Wolves, I think I can see. Okay, I am a character-driven author, and I think I understand that when it comes to other characters. When it comes to Inti, not at all. I feel like Inti is very on the table, very fleshed out. You know exactly what she's feeling, why she's feeling it, what's going on. The other characters, on the other hand, feels like, if I think about it really hard, it might be a bit more like we were always really just told rather than shown who they are. And I see that a bit. I think the like secondary characters will be a bit forgettable. I mean, people other than Inti and Aggie. And then Duncan will be probably half and half. But any other character I'll probably forget very easily. So in that way, maybe, I don't know. Wouldn't be completely, like completely wrong. Just makes me wonder if they actually read the book. Yeah, I mean, I feel for me, if I really think, like, I am character driven reader, so I understand maybe where they're coming from. It feels like we really know the characters because we are in Inti so much. I feel like Inti is absolutely fantastic, and written like it's amazing, and I really I felt like I was Inti. But when and that way kind of like it projected onto other characters, I feel like maybe there was not that much. And for example with, okay, no spoiler still, but with Duncan, that he has some dark past and some good, like some dark things and some good things. um it felt more like, how to explain it. I felt like that was maybe, I still gave it 5 stars, I still loved it, but I felt like maybe there was a little bit more just Inti assumed rather than described in a proper like developing character way. It felt like Inti is kind of just like figuring bits and pieces here and there out, and then sometimes she just, I don't know. I'm conflicted on that one. I'm conflicted on the one. That was not my impression at all either. Definitely not the main characters. No. Inti definitely not. The rest of them could be better maybe. This one was more for me just because of how some of the stuff made me feel. So I liked reading the book, but didn't always enjoy it, if that makes sense. Definitely makes sense. Yes. Larissa, seriously, whenever Inti got mad, I was like, hell yeah, get them, girl. Yes. Yeah. I really liked how she was thinking. No BS. How she was. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, like I'm yelling what at the book, and Inti was also like, what? Yeah. For me, it was a 4 or 4.5, mostly because it was next to other things, also strongly a mystery, and it's not a genre I enjoy, and that's what took away from the 5. I get it. Also, the mystery aspect of it took a little bit away from me, but at the end, I still cried, and I still really, really cared, and I just loved most of the book. So I was like, it just is not fair. Like this next to other 4 stars is absolutely unfair. So 5 for me. But I get it. I thought Duncan and Aggie were done especially well, especially the moments when we are sort of seeing them from afar. I don't know. I don't want to be spoilery. We can go maybe into spoilers soon, so we can explain more. I think they were done well, but there might be some things that I was sometimes. I think I was sometimes thinking like, but Inti is just thinking this. Like we actually don't know. Like maybe it's just her wishful thinking or something like that. Like it didn't really feel like character, but maybe that's part of it. But to me, it felt a little bit like disjointed. But not like it bothered me, but it was a little. Maybe that's why people say that. I started to doubt if Aggie was actually there at some point. Yeah, definitely was meant to be that way. Yeah. Although I don't know if I cared for how Aggie was handled, I guess I'll say. Me too, but spoilers. Okay. Changing it from spoiler free to spoilers because we want to talk. Spoilers for. So if you haven't read the book or don't want to get spoiled for this book, this is your shout. This is your time to leave and return later when you have read and don't mind spoilers anymore. Because now we're gonna dive into spoilers very soon. So this is your time. This is your warning. But we're gonna go into spoilers. So you are free to now discuss with spoilers. Me definitely too, Larissa. That was so well done. Yeah, I meant taking. Oh yeah, true. Like the one part at the beginning when they are like, Inti, don't say anything, okay? And yeah, she kind of does what I would do. Yeah, I think I probably wouldn't. Is that in the beginning, um, when they have the meeting with the locals, right? And they tell her to not say anything, to leave all the talking to, what's his name, Evan, and then she says anyway. I probably wouldn't say anything, but I don't know. Depends on how strongly I would feel. And because it was just the beginning, I did not feel as angry yet. But maybe if I was in her position and going through this for a long time, maybe I would have felt that anger. But me, as like just as a reader, just from the beginning, did not feel that anger yet, so I would not have. But yeah, when she gets all fired up, and it's like her mouth is stuffed without her brain's permission. Hello, yeah, definitely. That was great, honestly. She, you know, the thing is, she was right. She was right all along. At the same time, the locals want, like, I think maybe the author did a little bit better job in migrations than in this one. I thought maybe this one would be a little bit better done in that aspect. Again, doesn't bother me too much that it wasn't, but I was thinking, because all of these environmental books and environmental organizations, they just want this thing, and whoever it hurts, we don't care, right? Like in migrations, there was the topic of fishermen and these fishing ships and the protesters and everything, and we really got to see the fishing from the point of view of the fishermen. And I thought it was really well done, that it kind of made you very compassionate for the fishermen. Even though you care for the nature and for the fish, you still felt very compassionate with the fishermen too. So I thought that's what would be done here. Like, you really want the wolves to do well, you want them to be alive, you root for them, but at the same time, you really care for the farmers and for their sheep. I feel like it was very much in the background here. It was there. Inti did feel for the farmers. She even does go out and shoots at the one of the wolves to protect the sheep, but it did not feel like it did not feel as much of a statement as in migrations. No spoilers for migrations, but it's not a spoiler. I mean, it's I don't feel like that's a spoiler, but that's what I thought, like it would be maybe a little bit more here. It was not. I think it was focusing more on the mystery. Again, not a problem with that. I like mysteries, but it's just the observation. It's refreshing to read about a character like that. Yes, I know that feeling of the building so quickly and not being able to hold it in, especially when it's something she's seen dealt with before. Yeah, I get it. But spoilers, I'm happy Inti started questioning whether Aggie was there alive, real, because that's about when I was like, okay, but she might have died in Alaska. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Um, and I think also her questioning it was the author's way of making us question it, making us question Inti, how reasonable she actually is, or how sane she is. So I think that was very well done, to be honest. To be honest, I like Inti's interactions with Red too. Like, he's kind of rude to her and she's rude to him, but they also both acknowledge that they are fighting for what they believe in. So there's respect there too. Yes. Um, yeah, I really like that, because he did shoot the wolf maliciously. So he did screw up, but also it felt like he was not the evil one in the story, and you could figure it out pretty early on that he was. I feel like pretty quickly on you got the feeling that yes, Red is going to protect his sheep and his farm, and he is the angry local, but he is only that angry. and not bad. I felt like that was pretty well done, that it was like clear that I never suspected him of anything. Like he had integrity, it felt like, and I appreciate it in people. So yes, he was protecting his own, which of course he should, and he was worried for what the wolves would do. But then when he saw that things are getting out of hand and this and that, he kind of like did the right thing when he had to. So it was nice. And I like that he's the one who found her. Feels like he paid her back for her sitting up guarding his sheep or whatever. Uh, right. Yes. Yeah. True. He did find her. I was like, but Eggy came, but he picked her up before Eggy managed to come back. Yes. His dad was so lovely too. Yeah. And the knitting club, love how that's where Duncan's sweaters come from. Yeah, it was amazing. Um, and I love the older people, that they were really, the older people were rooting for the wolves. And I thought that was really sweet of like, yes, the young, middle-aged people, they care about their business, about their families, about, this farm that they have. But the older people, they've seen it all, and they know and they know that the wolves are good. And that was really sweet, that the older people were on the wolves side entire time. That was really sweet. That was a beautifully well written great character for me. Yes, definitely agree. I like that he didn't end up a pure villain. Yes. Yeah. I at some point even had a thought like, wait, no, are they gonna end up together? Like that will be completely out of the water. Like that will definitely take a star away, probably, or at least half. If they, okay, spoilers. Hopefully nobody comes just clicking and I just come shooting. I thought they killed of Duncan and she would end up with Red because he was so nice to her in the end. And I was like, no, 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 no. We can't do this now. We can't turn this fast. But yeah, he was very caring. That's what I mean with the integrity. Like he was not stubborn. He was not like a big ego, proud. He was really just protecting what's his. And when he saw that, okay, maybe I'm overreacting, maybe there is not as much danger as I thought, he changed the attitude a bit to adjust to the new situation or to the new findings. And I really loved that. Yeah, Mrs. Whatever, who sold her the test, was a great character. Yes. Yeah. And Red admitted that when Nine faced him bravely, he knew he'd done something terrible. Yeah. Yeah. And Duncan's conflict was nice, I guess, reflection of the reader, because we get to see both sides, locals and wolves, and it's kind of hard to pick a side. Kind of hard to pick a side. Yes, exactly. I love how it was done. It was really like, again, as I said, like I did think maybe we would go a little bit more into the farmers' side of things, why they were so worried. We did go into it, of course, but not. I don't know. It maybe didn't hit as much as it did with the fishing um, boats. Maybe just because I had more, when reading migrations, I had more against fishing than I have against farming. I think maybe that could also be it, that I did not feel as turned. But that definitely was explored a lot. So yeah, it was very well done. We got to see it from both sides. I feel like sometimes one thing bothered me. Maybe I was a little bit confused about Duncan. I never knew whose side he was on. I never knew why he hated wolves in the beginning, or if, yeah, at some point it felt like, okay, he now definitely cares for the wolves, like it was obvious. And then the next chapter is again like very much for the locals, even though he wasn't. It was maybe more, was it more like Inti's suspicion, Inti's projection, fear, that he was, because we all see it from Inti's point of view. So maybe it's just that. But that was a little bit confusing to me, that it felt like he was jumping a lot back and forth, but maybe that's just what Inti thought. Red and Inti, well, that would have been a plot twist, right? I liked Red more than Duncan, to be honest. I didn't really like Duncan. Yeah, Duncan was, again, a great character, I would say. Also, I don't think he was that great. I think there was a reason why Aggie was against him, and there was a reason why Inti fell in love with him. So um, another great character, I would say. But I like Duncan probably more because we get to know him more than Red. But I mean, I feel like Duncan had more positive to him than Red did. But again, might be just because that's, uh, yeah, they would never work. Fire and fire do not mix well. Oh, Red and Inti, yeah, no. Did anyone see the twist coming? Because I didn't. No, I did not either. I didn't see it coming at all. Um, no, I realized it with Inti. Yeah, with the dog bite comment, I was like, holy shit. Yeah, I was. I didn't. It didn't click first either when it was like it was dog bite, like the dog, and I was like, wait a minute, what dog? Like, there was one dog and one dog only, but she never goes out. She only hangs out with the horse or inside. Like, what dog? And then it took me a while to really connect the pieces. I didn't care too much about Duncan either. That instant attraction and so fast physical intimacy is never a thing I enjoy in stories. Honestly, I could have worked without the romance. Yeah, I get that, and I felt that a little bit as well. But given her history that she tells us later, it doesn't feel as weird that they just jumped on it, because some people do. Some people do. Um, they just go for it, just enjoy, and it seemed like it was just that maybe from the beginning, the first time. So even though it's not my thing, but I'm not that surprised, and it doesn't bother me that much because I know it happens. I know people do that for no reason other than just let's have fun. So could be that. And then slowly it built into something bigger than that. That's how I understood it anyway. But yeah, could be without the romance as well. As soon as she followed his track, I thought, okay, this is who she'll start sleeping with. Yep. I like the moment when Inti realizes Duncan tries to take care of everyone and everything, but they're also taking care of him. But they are also, it's a sweet small town kind of. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I really liked the moment where she found out he was taking care of them, but the moment she realized that they were taking care of him, that was kind of like an eye opener, and didn't expect that. I really like that. I had my suspicions about the twist, but then put it aside as a weird idea. Really? Huh. So was it a little bit anticlimactic for you when it was actually that? Did you feel like, nah, this doesn't make sense? But also the pregnancy thing got really symbolic as it progressed. Oh yeah, that is the plot line I had the most doubts about, was the pregnancy. I felt like, of course she's pregnant. And I felt so annoyed, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna trust this author. I'm gonna trust Charlotte that she did that for a reason. I feel like she wouldn't do it if she didn't have a reason, and she did indeed. And I love the way it all wrapped up, and how the pregnancy was portrayed, how it all just went. It was just so well done. It didn't like, that was what I was most worried about, how it would be handled, this pregnancy and the child, and whatever happens with that. Would it be just some kind of like tokens of something, or would it be actually mean something to the story? And it so did, and I'm so glad it did. I'm so glad it did. That she didn't just put in something like, oh, of course you sleep with a guy who get pregnant. Like, I don't like that, but it did work out. I was pissed. Yeah, I was very worried Like otherwise, it was a 5 star. I loved it, but the entire time, like since they said she was pregnant, I was like, oh my god, I really hope this means something. I really hope it's not just. I don't know what else to write, but you know, maybe a bit less climactic, as if I wouldn't have thought about it, but I still thought it was well done. It made total sense. Okay, good. As soon as she went out in the snow, 8 months preggers, I was like, wow, dumbass. We all know what's coming, but you, yeah. I mean, honestly, she probably saw it as well, but didn't care at that point. Uh, right, galloping around on a horse while heavily pregnant. To be fair, she was not galloping. She was only walking, or the horse was walking. I don't think she was galloping at any point. I think that was quite clear, unless I missed something. But I thought that was. I was also thinking like, no way are you gonna be like, well, thrown off a horse while pregnant, because we don't have enough of what is it, the soap operas, right? Or galloping around. But no, I think she only walked on the horse because she also wanted, so was scared, because otherwise, like, it was not safe. Snow is not safe for horses, right? So wanted to protect the horse, and of course wanted to probably protect the pregnancy. So I think she actually explicitly said that they were just walking, they were not going to be running. um but maybe there was a moment where they did. Still not a great idea. No, still not a great idea to just around 20 degree. No, no, no. Definitely not. No. It would make it worse though if she was galloping, probably. That's an activity to do. Oh my god. Getting on a horse while pregnant, I wouldn't be able to manage. No, how? How did it even work? How do you even get off? I was actually thinking about, like, physically, how do you get off a horse if you have a wolf behind you and you try to get, because you get off, you lean forward and you swing your leg. But that couldn't work if she was 8 months pregnant, so she had to flip her leg forward, which is not that great. I mean, you jump either way, but again, she had to jump down. But anywho, yeah, not great, not great. So definitely, we all saw what was coming. I was also very surprised. The one thing, guys, one thing, the horse got scared when she screamed from the contractions, but did not get scared when she shot the wolf. That was okay. That was like, okay, I'll just stay here, wait. But once she was screaming from the contractions, the horse like, nah, I'm out. Like, why? Why was the horse scared of that and not that? I was actually thinking a lot, like, when she was driving there to the wolf, that, well, the horse is gonna run if you shoot. The horse is gonna get scared. But I don't know. Maybe the horse was trained for it. Unlikely. I realize I just love to read about people with a very strong connection to nature. Is the thing I remember the most about Auntie and Aggie. I also have that in my current reading. Yeah. Yeah, I love that too. That is, yeah, I agree. I also love that so much when the characters are connected to nature. That is what makes the mood, it feels like, because the way they're talking about it is just so poignant. I want to say, if that's the word. But I do love the opportunity to show the horses loyalty, since we get so much about how loyal animals are and how they can remember their carers. Yeah. Yeah. And saviors, I guess, because she saved her too. So yeah, that was really nice that she went with the horse that she saved in the beginning. I kind of like that after Stuart died, no one cared about the extra 2K she owed. Yeah, I was wondering, like, if anybody would ask her, but I mean, even Lainey said, like, that was just way overpriced. Um, no way should you pay that much. I love the flashbacks with their father in the woods. Yes. Yeah, I thought that was really nice as well. How they were learning the forest and connecting to it. Everybody else thought it was BS. For the flashbacks? Oh no, the 2000 that she owed. Yeah. Yes, the dad's influence was very strong all of the time. Yeah. Now, question: where did he go? One day he goes and he walks out into the forest and never comes back. Where did he go? Where did Aggie go? Where did they go? What happened to them? Do we know? Anybody dares to venture a guess? Is that what you say? I don't know. It felt like the dad felt like this is it for me. The dad was not doing very well in his head. But Aggie, I feel like, was a little bit young for that. So I wonder if she just really went somewhere else, just moved somewhere else and continued her life on her own somewhere. Or did she jump off the cliff? What happened? What happened? And then when she sees her dad at the end, yeah, exactly. He leads her. Especially the you don't hunt wolves, you hunt their prey. Oh, I love that. Yes, I love that. Out on their own to die in nature, on their own terms, without hurting or burdening anyone else. That's how I took it. Me too. Yeah, but what does that mean? Yeah, that I mean that was written in the book, but what does that mean? On their own to die in nature on their own terms. Like again, I get it for the dad. The dad was older and a little cuckoo. But Aggie, she felt fine. I mean, clearly she had issues, but she was nowhere near dying. So I'm thinking, where did she go? To me, it suits them and the story that we don't know. Maybe they found a way to live in the wood or somewhere else. Maybe they just wanted to live for good. Yeah. I agree with that. Like it's I'm not bothered that we didn't get that answered. I think, as I said, that fits the story perfectly. That we don't know, that's kind of like the mystery, the lingering in the forest, in the nature. I'm just curious if you guys have any ideas. Aggie was so shattered mentally, and I hated all we saw was Inti taking a few counseling pamphlets, and it never came up again, except to mention they tried inpatient care and she got worse. Yeah, yeah, that could have been maybe developed more, but maybe also it could be a bit too much to try to handle in this book. I wonder if the author just maybe did not feel ready for that, to tackling that specific topic. Um, but yeah, I mean, to me, it both does and doesn't make sense. So yeah, I kind of took it like that was not the point of the story. So I was kind of alright with that, but I see what you mean. The dad, I think, had dementia, and Aggie realized she was a danger to others. I think it was poetic that they both went back to nature, where they came from, to give back one last time. Yes. Yeah, I 100% agree. To nurture the land, sort of. Yes. Well, Aggie did kill Stuart. Ooh, did she run away from the law? Yeah, she did. Yeah, that made sense for the story, but in the sense of representation, I would love to see something else, of course. Yeah. Um, yeah, but maybe that's a different book then that we would have to read for that kind of conversation. Um, yeah, I mean, there probably could have been more, but it would have to be probably like 100 pages longer for it to be done well and not like too long or too dragged out or something. So that doesn't bother me. It wasn't there. It fits the story. It fits, like, that's what the book was supposed to be. So I don't know. I feel like giving everyone such a horrendous traumatizing background may have been a bit too much for the book to handle. Yeah. Yes. um, it would be too much, I think, if we were to dive into it. Yeah, representation wise, I just wanted her to have someone other than Inti. Yeah. Yeah, that entire thing is very interesting. And that's actually, I think, is that the first question in the discussion here? Yeah, there's actually first, or not that exactly, but that kind of reminds me of this. And the first discussion question is, Inti and Aggie are identical twins. How does that shape their bond? Discuss their particular intimacy, specifically how it is affected by Aggie's marriage to Gus. How do the sisters both protect each other and hurt each other? And I thought that was interesting because I don't think I ever thought about it that they hurt each other. Of course, I thought about it as not, it doesn't exactly seem healthy that the way they are connected to each other and like wherever they go they have to go together doesn't seem particularly healthy even for twins. Um but I never thought of it as like they would be hurting each other in some way. But now talking about this, it could be some kind of hurting at some point, maybe not now, maybe like Inti was taking care of Aggie a lot, but maybe in the past when they lived together and tried to protect each other so much that they let themselves get hurt. But I don't know. But also with Inti's mirror touch, I think that's what it was called. It was so much more powerful when she empathized with someone because she literally knew how they felt. Yeah. Yeah. I think that was so strong. Um, yeah. Now I'm thinking there was something similar in the parable of the sower, but it was not mirror touch. It was, what was it? Was it mirror touch as well? She also had some condition that she saw suffering, she felt people's pain or something like that. Was it that it wasn't any kind of or like any and every kind of sensation? It was only pain. But I think Inti definitely held Eggy back in certain ways. And I think part of why Eggy left was because she knew Inti couldn't care for her kiddo and Duncan and herself if Eggy was still around. Yeah, I think so too. Yes. I agree, Larissa. To me, Duncan's dark past, for example, wasn't really needed. To me, it felt a little bit. I'll add one more dark thing to keep them interested. Okay. Yes, there was no room for everything to address properly. Yeah, could be. I mean, I see what you mean. Yeah, they all had some trauma in the past, but to be honest, lots of people do have trauma in the past. Um, it's not that rare. Um, so unfortunately, like I did not feel like it was too much. Like everybody had something dark because everybody does have something dark in the past. Uh, Almost everybody. And the thing is maybe though that should it be in a book like this? Like in a book like this, you do pick your characters, you pick what they went through, what their story is. So maybe you don't need to have all characters with dark background or dark backstory. So yeah, could be, but it didn't feel like it didn't bother me too much that yeah they all had something because life. But also Duncan's shit was such a long time ago that it didn't need to be addressed as much as Aggie's trauma. I think I agree with that. Yeah, yeah. He already dealt with that. It looked like it felt like he already dealt with that, and it was just part of his past, and he is now just living with it, not despite it, kind of. But yeah, interesting. But I'm glad we all enjoyed it. In the book, I mean, not that. Not that killing someone isn't a big deal, to be clear. No, 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 of course. But it made him scared of becoming a parent. Uh, True. Yeah. Yeah, I don't see problem with that. But I think I understand what you mean. Like, it was maybe too much to have in this book that was supposed to be focused on something else. Could be. Just oh, thank God I started to wonder. Yes, agree. It's not that uncommon, but also not very common on that high level. But maybe that's just me again, not enjoying mystery thriller books. Could be. Could be. I said multiple times to my friends, someone died again. Yeah. Um, I get it. If you don't enjoy that kind of thing in books, then that's totally fair. Um, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. Do you all think the white wolf was a hallucination, or was she really there? Odd to warm her up in the middle of the night. Uh, when after giving birth, when they were freezing, that moment, you mean? I really hope she was there because I had an emotion at that part. If that's the part you mean, then I think that was a hallucination. Um, I I think it would have been beautiful, but I also think it would have been too much. Now, of course, it kinda could make sense because she did touch them. I like to think it was real. Yeah, like they did take care of her, like she took care of them, and they did smell her when they were just little pitalita babies, puppies. She held all of them, so they definitely remember her smell. But I just felt like it was a little bit too nice. Like they just came and lie down next to her to like keep her warm. I felt like it was a little bit too much, maybe. But I also like to think it was real because it would be nice, but it just felt too good. I hope so too. But even if she was there in spirit only, I would like it. Yeah, yeah. When she thought the wolves would attack, but the white wolf recognized her and saved her. Yeah, for indeed they were there, and that's all that matters. Yeah, it was too wholesome for this book. I think that's the point. That's the point. Uh, that she cared about the wolves and the wolves cared about her. And also, I can't decide if it was beautiful or cheesy that right after Inti took a life, Wolf 10, she brought forth a life, her kiddo. Um, yeah, that was beautiful, I would say. I don't see anything cheesy about that. That's how life works often. So, yeah, the circle of life. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Um, is there anything else you'd like to say? What was your favorite moment in the book? Your most, like, the favorite, the best moment? This is when you teared up, when you cried. This is what made you fall in love with the book. What was the moment? Nice symbolism, yes. Also, the epilogue made me think of braiding speedgrass. I did. Didn't ring a bell to me to that. But you read it more recently, so it could be also because of that. I was so sad for Wolf 10 though. Felt it more than all the others. Yeah, I see that. I see that. Yeah. She did eat. She did eat people's sheep. It was not her fault though. The sheep were roaming free. What is she supposed to do? But yeah. Surface level, I loved when Inti went to trash Coleman his car. Yeah, that was fantastic. He deserved that. So good. The epilogue was sweet, her teaching Kido about nature. I was worried she'd named the kid Aggie and I'd heard myself rolling my eyes. Yeah. Do we know what she was named? Whatever. Wolfden was awesome. Yeah, she was amazing. But do we know what the kid was named? I don't think it was. Was it said? The most disturbing part for me was when the wolf's remains were in the trash bag. Like, what kind of person do you have to be to do something like that? Yes. Yeah, or when they put the, what was it, the wolf's head on like a sign in town or on Halloween or something. Reminded me of Game of Thrones. Yeah, that was disgusting. But I don't think we know name of her daughter. And she realized that's what was hitting her window. Yeah, disturbing and gross. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, I think my favorite moment. There are so many that I love, like in the nature when she was watching the wolves, when she was trying to save them, and everything. Like there's so many amazing moments in the book. But I think one that somehow spoke to me the most, not that I would expect this at all. It was actually one related to the relationships more than to the wolves. And it was when they were talking, when they were talking about how, well, when Inti realized what Aggie did, and then told her that she loves Duncan and that she actually chose to be with him, and she decided that he was good and wanted to be with him. And the realization between them, I thought that was so heartbreaking. Like, how do you repair something like that? I don't know. that was that was just brutal and beautiful, and yeah, totally made me like hyperventilate kind of. um I love the more philosophical themes, like how change scares people and what that can make them do, and overall the concept of fear, and that we look for something to fear like a wolf, so we don't have to fear the scary things that are closer to us. Yeah, yeah. I mean, definitely there were so many things like that as well. So yeah, I don't know how to describe this book. There's so many amazing things, and just like I just loved it all of the messaging, all of the psychological, all of the actual acts, and like the angry mad woman going around smacking car windows, and yeah, it's just it was so good. It was so good. As a lover of grimdark, I do like a good head on a pike moment. No floofs though, never the floofs. Floofs should stay unharmed. Yes. And then I identified a lot with Inti and Aggie struggling to trust people and let people in after being hurt in so many ways. Yeah, the same. Also, the mom always telling Inti to toughen up was upsetting in the way it is when I'm anxious and people tell me to calm down or let it go. Yeah, definitely. 100%. That was very tough enough. Come on, mom. You can do better. Yeah, all the floofs should live always. Hell yes, love seeing women's righteous fury. Yes. I also like the thoughts around language that isn't words. Violence is a language as well as empathy, and these two as opposites were so well portrayed. Didn't even think of that, but that's amazing. Yes. yeah, that was like, especially if you say it like that, it was so beautiful in the book. It was so well done. So yeah, it was a great book. I'm glad you all enjoyed it. Yes, agree so much. Yeah, yeah, it was really well done. And really, like, if you think about it, especially how we discuss it now, so many different things to pick on, and to pick on, to like, to discuss, to dive deeper on, and to really see how all of the dots connect. And um how, when I went to see Dan Brown, he said about his 600-page book, that in his books, he, like, the one rule he lives by as an author is that the book should not have any more or any less words than is absolutely necessary for the reader. And I'm like, okay, that's why you write 600-page book. Okay, whatever. This felt like perfect example of that mindset. Like, it didn't give us anything more than we needed. It was really nice, well wrapped, and kind of limited to what we were focusing on. And there were a little things going on, but they were not too distracting. While at the same time, there was so much to explore, and everything connected, and everything just made sense. There was nothing extra that just left loose. And like, I love it. I love it. I love it. That's what I meant before about how many things were communicated without words. Yeah. And at the end, when Duncan says he might never speak again, and Inti's like, no worries, I can teach you. Yeah, that was awesome. Like, yeah, that's fine. I'm also very glad we read it, and I'm excited for the next one. It's getting amazing reviews, even from people who don't usually read a genre. Oh, really? That's good. Even Frederick Backman said that it was fantastic. So I'm intrigued. Yeah, definitely. Like, you don't have to show every single thing that happens when you have such strong themes and connections throughout the book. Yeah. I love the little detail about Werner's book of colors and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. The colors. That was nice. Yeah, but that's so what is the rating everybody gave? I know there was some 4 stars, 4.5 maybe. I think, I don't know if Larissa mentioned if you are giving it any rating, but yeah, I think 5 stars for me. Absolutely loved it. There is very few books that captivate me the way this did. And even though, of course, there were some things that maybe were not that amazing, but or maybe I would have preferred to do it a little bit differently. All over, I still absolutely loved it. So for me, it's a 5. I think the ending was so exciting because everything just came together so nicely. Yeah. I give it 3.5, but I'll bump it up to 4. Oh, really? Okay. But it sounded like you really enjoyed it. Is 3.5 really enjoying for you? 3.5 for me is like, was good, but on the good side of good, but not quite 4. But yeah, for 4 for me, honestly, just too much abuse for my personal preference. Fair, totally fair. It was very dark. It was very dark, more than I expected, especially compared to Migrations. It was also a bit dark, but not as much. Especially from what I remember. I don't remember it being that dark. But I will post a poll about when we want to read this one. It will be one of the months when we don't have book club, so we don't have 3 books to discuss that month. That will be just too much. So we shall see when that happens, actually. Maybe it will be somewhere around summer. I don't know. I'll send a poll. We'll be discussing, or like we'll be reading this one at some point. But for the book club itself, next book on our list is Ocean, Earth's Last Wilderness by David Attenborough and Colin Butfield. When I was introducing this in the video, I did not know it was co-written by Colin Butfield. It just did not stand out to me at all, but it is co-written. And the nonfiction, quite a big one actually, but I read one other book by David Attenborough and it reads so easily. So I think this one will be really interesting and really fascinating to read. This is the book for February. So live show probably beginning of March. And yeah, excited to read this one. I'm looking forward to this audiobook. Oh, you have audiobook of it. Nice. I did not check actually. I hope Sir David Attenborough reads more often than but. Yeah, I hope so. But I already looked at the pictures. Hey, you did? Yeah. There are lots. There are lots of pictures. Lots. Oh. A green turtle swims in the South Pacific off the coast of French Polynesia. It is the only herbivorous species of turtle and eats mostly seagrass and algae. Females are known to undertake long migrations between feeding grounds and the beaches of their birth, where they return to lay their own eggs. I don't know if you heard, but the sea turtles are no longer endangered. So, and pandas either. And I think there was one more animal that was no longer endangered. So it's some people are doing fantastic job out there preserving the species and animals. I might skip the non-fictions this year, but maybe I'll give this one a try. I'll decide in February. Okay. Totally fair. No worries. You do you. If you decide to join, I hope you enjoy. See, this is why I'm okay with audio. You always show us the pictures. I don't know if I can. Is it like copyrighted? But hopefully there is also like PDF with the audio. Yay, panda! I love black and white animals. Also round animals. Yeah, pandas. Also all animals, obviously. Okay, but unless there is anything else we would like to discuss here, I think we can wrap it up for today. I'm gonna go try to survive the rest of the day and rest of the week. Don't forget we have the CliMates weekend challenge this weekend, so I need to post it today because tomorrow it's like tomorrow. So I need to post it today so you have a little bit of time to prepare if you want for the challenge. I hope I won't be too sick, even though it's not looking good, but we'll see. Fingers crossed. And yeah, I will see you somewhere on Discord probably. Or on some spread at some point. But yeah, thank you so much for being here, for reading the book and joining the discussion, discussing it with me. It was lovely to discuss with you. Have a good rest of the week, everyone. The same to you. Thank you for hosting. Thanks for the chat. Thank you for being here. And for organizing a buddy read of the next by this author. And maybe once after that, she said, hopefully. Yeah, I don't know if how many she plans to publish. I'm not on top of it. I don't know what it looks like. So we have one more by this author so far, and we'll see if she comes up with more. I hope so, but we'll see. So yeah, definitely we'll plan this one in. And yeah, thank you for being here. Hope you have a great rest of the day or have a good night. And I'll see you on Discord or otherwise on some sprints around. But for now, have a nice rest of the day and I'll see you later. Bye.